school coach in the states of Alabama and Georgia. And that's gonna serve him so well in this position as our head football coach. But really, above all else, the most impressive quality with Chip is who he is. And I've known him for quite some time. We've crossed paths a couple of times. And his most impressive quality is who he is as a person. And that's important to me, and it's important to this institution that we hire good people who are about the right things, and Chip Lindsey is about the right things. And so I told you we had some people working kind of behind the scenes for us, the former coaches who could get in touch with people that maybe, I didn't have time to. And so I told him, I said, I need you to find out something negative on Chip Lindsey. That's your job. So that went on for like 6 days. And he kept calling me back and going, hey, man, I can't find anything. I said, well, keep calling. Call so-and-so, call so-and-so. And it never happened. Not once. And that is hard to do in this industry. Chip, as a coach, there are some people you make mad. As an AD, there's some people you make mad. So it's hard to do. But not once did anybody who had worked with him or played for him have anything negative to say. They all said, he's a fantastic person. He's an outstanding coach. He will absolutely get it done at Troy. It's a perfect fit. And so, for me, that was it. When you can leave places and leave people that way, I think that says a lot about you as a person and about the fit here at Troy. So there's no doubt in my mind Chip Lindsey's the right guy for us. And I'm thrilled to welcome him to Troy and welcome his family. You guys will get a chance to know them. They're fantastic and are going to be great additions to our community. So we welcome you guys and excited to continue to get to know you better. So at this time, I'd like to call our next head football coach at Troy University, Chip Lindsey, to the podium.
Thank you so much. It's such an honor to be here and standing here in front of you today as the new head football coach here at Troy University. I'm unbelievably humbled by the turnout today. I mean, just outstanding. This place is, that's why it's a special place. The only thing I'll say is I'm really glad Jeremy didn't call my wife. I'd probably got a few negative things. But you messed that up. So just extremely excited to be back home. I consider, this a unique place and a special place for me and my family. Even my kids, they learned to swim right across the street here when I was renting a university home. We had a lot of great memories here. Really just a unique place, and I'm just, honored to be leading this program. And I hope you know that. I take a lot of pride in that. It's gonna be a lot of fun. It's going to be excitement every day. Every day I get up. I mean, like today I got up and I said, I can't believe I'm the head football coach here. And so I'm really excited. This is a dream for me, a dream come true, and I'm going to tell you a story why that matters in just a few minutes. I want to thank a few people to start with. Obviously, I want to start with our Chancellor, Dr. Hawkins, for giving me this opportunity. This is something that I take very serious, and I just really appreciate it. I'm going to do everything I can to make you proud and everybody here proud, but really appreciate this opportunity. I want to thank our Board of Trustees. I met almost all of you, I think, and some of you I knew from my first stint here, and you guys are unbelievable the way you support this university, the mission, and the things that go along with all aspects of our universities. In athletics, I think you can just look out the window and see that, but you guys make this place special, and I know that with our leadership and you guys doing what you do, it makes a difference for our student athletes, and we really do appreciate it. Thank you for entrusting me to take this step and lead this program. I want to thank Jeremy, obviously. We did cross paths, and always just was so impressed with him. I used to go over to his office when I was an offensive coordinator at Southern Miss, and I would sit and we would just talk. You know, we're both former baseball guys. You probably don't realize that, but I coached baseball for a long time, and I'll tell you a little bit about that in a minute. But Jeremy and I would go and we would just sit down, and honestly, there was a little bit motive behind me because I knew he was a rising star on that side of it, and I said, I hope he remembers me one day, you know. And here we are. So we had a lot of great conversations, and there was times, you know, in this profession and coaching, I don't know if you, I mean, there's highs and lows. The highs are high and the lows are low, so to speak, you know. And there's times I would crawl over there, you know, and cry on his shoulder, so to speak, and he always was so positive. His leadership here is obvious. You know, you can tell the way things go here, and I think he's been a breath of fresh air for everyone from the standpoint of you always want a guy who's the athletic director that you can go to and talk to, a guy that's a real person that's, and I think Jeremy, he's proven that his leadership is incredible here. I want to take a few minutes to introduce my family. If I don't, then it might be a long few days, so I want to make sure I do that. Obviously, my wife, Cecily, she's here. She's been really supportive of my career. This profession is unique, as you know, and some of you are in sales and do different things where you travel a lot and you know, our hours are crazy. I mean, the last few days have been unbelievable. And she's always been great, been very supportive, taking care of the family and so forth. So I want to thank her, all the things she's done. My children are here. My oldest, Claire, she's up here in the front. She's very unique. She's 14 years old. If you've got 14-year-old daughters, but she's been great, so supportive of my career, all of them. Caroline is my twin daughter. Cooper, obviously, is her twin, right? And you know, just anything. I got Connor there on the end, and he's these kids right here. That, you know, they understand my career. They understand what we do. But the one thing I'll never do is I always want to be a good father. I always want to be, you know, be there and have that balance. And I think that's critical to success. And I think our players need to see that. I think our players need to know that you're a good husband, you're a good father, and I think that helps influence them. You know, I mentioned, you know, my background, I'm a high school coach at heart. That's what I did forever. I really had dreams of being a high school head football coach at a little place called Culver Heights in North Alabama. Some of you may know that was my dream. That was what I wanted to do, you know. And here I am today. And, you know, for a long time I was a baseball coach. And I learned from a guy a little bit, Coach Bobby Pierce. And he was a college coach up there at UAH. And I had a couple of my friends that played for him. And you know, I really learned a lot of things from just going to his practice and watching, you know. And I learned some things that I probably wouldn't want to say, but I learned some good things. I'm kidding. He was unbelievable. He did an unbelievable job motivating his players. And it wasn't just about coaching baseball, but it was about he led that group. And then we ended up working here together some in 2010, and I've always followed him. And you know, I was a head baseball coach for 7 years, and just that was how I kind of started in the profession. They'll give you an opportunity in baseball when you're young because there's not a lot of money in it and nobody else wants to do it. So they give it to the young guy, and that's what I did. Principal hired me one time. He said, "You got the job. Nobody else wanted it, so good luck." And that's what he did. So, but you know, I was also a teacher. My mom's a retired school teacher. My dad's a retired administrator as well as retired from the military. And you know, the teaching profession is so unique and it's so powerful because of the impact you have on the kids, right, at that age, especially in the high school level at that age they are. And I really enjoyed that time, and really that's kind of what I want on our staff. I want a staff full of really good teachers and communicators and people that can be a great influence on our players. That's important to me. I think relationships are the number one thing, and you'll see that out of our staff, and that's important to me. If everybody in this room probably played high school sports of some sort, and you all had a high school coach, right, that if you did, that had an influence on your life. Maybe some weren't great, but most of us had somebody that we really connected with because of that age we were. I think relationships are the number one thing, and that's what we'll do here with our players, just like it's been done in the past. You know, I'm a dreamer. That's what, you know, I dreamed of being the head football coach in college one day. That was when I got into college football. And, you know, Coach Blakeney hired me here in 2010, right out of high school. I'd had some success in high school, and I actually replaced Neil the first time he left. So there's a little history there, which is unique, you know. And Neil's great. We've been friends forever. We've been since he became a player, you know, since he got through playing. I was a little older than him, but always we stayed in touch. We visited in the off season. We traded ideas. We traded, You know, not just plays, okay, but I mean the way you handle your program, the way you organize your program, the way you motivate people. And so he's been a huge influence just from a standpoint of a friend you can bounce ideas off of. But Coach Blakeney hired me, and when he did, I mean, I couldn't believe it. I mean, I was in college football, and I came over, and we were talking one day, and, you know, we walked out on the field, and he said, you know, Chip, tell me what your dreams are. Tell me what you want to do one day. I said, I want to be a head football coach here at Troy when you retire. And he said, really? I said, yeah. He said, well, I ain't retiring no time soon. So I said, well, I said, maybe down the road one day. And but he told me, right, standing out there on the field, you know, obviously none of that was there. He said, there's 3 things you need to remember. And I said, okay, Coach, because, you know, he's a great mentor. And he said, you know, Troy's a special place. And it's not special because we're winning and we've won championships. It's really special because of the people. And, you know, I thought, yeah, you know, that was when I first got here. But after spending time here and building some relationships and seeing, he's exactly right. That's what makes this place. It's not about the brick and mortar all the time. It's about the people in it, you know. And I think that was a huge learning point for me at that time in my career. The second thing he said, never forget that we're here for our players first. That's the number one reason we got this job, right? That's the number one reason you have a football coach. It's for the student athletes. And I want to make sure every day, and we've done that everywhere I've been, is that the number one thing, what's the best thing for our players? So any decision we make, how does it affect our players? Is it the best thing for our guys? And I think your players, they see that, they feel that, and you're going to get more out of them when they know you care for them. And then the third thing he said was always treat people right. You know, treat everybody in the building like you would want to be treated. And I thought, you know, those are 3 really simple and basic things that he shared with me. It wasn't like, hey, mate, I want you to run this on 3rd down and 7 or anything. It wasn't X's and O's. It was all about treating people. And in the leadership positions, I think you have to remember those things. You have to remember the basic things in life that you learn when you're a child, that your parents try to teach you, that you try to teach your own children who sometimes don't listen like they should. But, you know, I think those are the things, those are the keys to success in life. And I remember him standing right out there and telling me that, and took it with me everywhere I went. I'm looking forward to reconnecting with this great community. You know, this is a place that really cares about this university. Obviously, I remember filling up this stadium, the Vet, and it's rocking. Our students are unbelievable, and I've seen that even grow, and Neil did a great job with that. I want to say Neil and that staff that he had there, and a lot of those guys I hope will be around. Some will move on with other opportunities. I understand that, but did a great job of establishing a culture. You know, and building on the foundation Coach Blakeney started, and Neil took it to another level, and we're going to continue to do the same thing. And we're going to take it to our own level. Everybody puts their own spin on it, and but the core values and the things that we believe in will always be the same. I think that's extremely important. There's an electric atmosphere in this stadium when it's rocking. I've seen it on those Tuesday night games, right? We were trying to prepare for a game, and I'm sitting there trying to watch Troy play. I always watched them. Cecily will tell you that. It's what I want to do. I wasn't watching the SEC and all that. I wanted to see Troy play, and it was always on a night that we could see it. And it was just amazing watching these kids play and the effort and the energy and the passion that they seem to always play with. And a lot of people don't want to play us for that reason. So Trojan Walk, you know, just thinking through Trojan, I'm going to do Trojan Walk now as the head coach here. That's unbelievable. You know, it's an unbelievable honor for me to be able to do that. I think our fan support's second to none. It really is. And it's a huge reason why I want to come back here. Okay, now a lot of these jobs you say, well, I'm going to go to this job, and Coach started a job from scratch, and it's a rebuild. It's blow it up and start over. I understand it's not that way here, and I'm really embracing that. That's a challenge. That motivates me every day, okay? And I'm excited about it. That's fun because I think we're in a good spot. We just got to get it going and go play, right, and build those relationships with these players, and we got time to do that. But I'm excited. I think that was a huge positive about coming back here. Moving forward, I'm excited to get started. Like I said, I want to build on this championship culture that's been established, and I'm going to do that. The foundation's been laid by the 2 previous coaches before me, who were great coaches here. Dr. Hawkins mentioned a lot of great coaches that have been here, and he's right. And it started with the first coach here, and I hope to live up to that standard. That's going to be tough, but if we can get those guys on the schedule, maybe we'll have a challenge. You know. So. But the one thing I'll say is we're going to play a fun and exciting brand of football. Okay, I hope you can casually watch us play and really not see a whole lot of difference in style. That's what my goal is. That's why I want to make sure we have the opportunity to maybe retain some guys. I want our players to have a smooth transition. I want it to and I've talked to them. I had a great meeting with those guys, our team, yesterday. They were so dialed in and locked in. And I think, I hope, and I think I put a lot of them at ease by getting a feel for me and how this transition is going to take place. I was very open with them about the next step and how we're going to go about this. I talked to all our commits last night. They're all fired up. You know how when change happens and you're 17, 18 years old, you go, oh, well, maybe I need to do this or that. Every one of them, to a man, gave me confidence that they're coming to Troy. There's no issues there. They have no regrets. And I told every one of them, you chose to come to Troy for a lot of reasons, right? It wasn't just one reason. Yeah, you had a special relationship with an assistant coach or whatever. That makes sense. I understand that. But it also, you came here because it's Troy, because it's special. And that's why you're going to come to Troy and be great. And I tell them all the time, when you decide to come to Troy, your dreams are mine. Now, I'm going to help you get to them, and you got to follow, and you got to do the things we ask you to do, but your dreams become my dreams, because if they're successful, we're successful. It all works together, and that's kind of the way I feel. We have a talented roster returning. I do realize that. Now, there's some holes we got to fill in the recruiting, and we're going to do that. But I love the attitude. I recruited some of these guys at different spots, so I know a lot of the roster, and I think that's a huge advantage. There won't be as much, oh, we'll see if this guy can do this or that. I think that's a huge advantage. Our goal is continue to win championships and remain one of the premier Group of 5 programs. That's what we're here for. That's our goal every day. That's what we talk about, and we'll continue to hold up to that standard. Our facilities, they're breathtaking. They really are. We walked in this building. Cecily walked in the other night when she got here, and I was blown away. I had not been in the new building until yesterday, lunchtime, and I just couldn't do it. And I want to thank you guys that were involved in that. Jeremy, Dr. Hawkins, and everybody here, because it's unbelievable. And you have no idea what that, in this whole campus. I mean, I drove through campus the other day. Obviously, you go right here by baseball, and we're building a new student rec center and all the new dining hall. It's unbelievable what's been done here. And without, your support, your help, and you driving the boat, it couldn't happen. So I just think it's unbelievable. And you talk about getting a recruit here. You're not embarrassed to take him anywhere. You want him to see everything, okay? So it's easy to fill a recruiting weekend when you can do that, okay? So our facilities are second to none, and I think that's going to help us continue to have success. We're going to recruit Alabama first. That's what we're going to do. I think Neil and his staff did an unbelievable job of doing that when I would see them out when I was recruiting. We got to turn over every rock and find those guys that we can develop, and then steal a few of those guys and get them to come to Troy, because they got options. Obviously now there's more schools and all that, but we got a great product to sell. We're going to do that. And then all the areas, the surrounding areas are important. And then the biggest thing is I'm getting a staff together that's tenacious, that has energy, that has great character, men of character that want to represent us in the right way, and will go out and really try to get quality people here in our program. That's important to me. This job, I had somebody ask me why I wanted this job. Why do you want this job? And I said, it's really simple. I'm extremely familiar with Troy, first of all. It's coming home for me. I'm an Alabamian. I'm from here. I know all about the tradition. I know all about the uniqueness of this place. And the great foundation's in place. Why would you want to come somewhere where they've won 10 games 3 years in a row? Why would you want to come here? Because you know what? It doesn't matter when you come here. That's been done here, right? We've won a lot of championships here. We've had great seasons here. I'd rather do that than go to a place where you got to start over. So that was exciting to me. I'm going to embrace that and challenge I have, and I'm looking forward to getting started for sure. Yesterday I spoke to the team. I wanted to leave you with this. There were 4 things that I think are our pillars, our foundation. Every coach has that. Neil had his, Coach Blakeney had it. Everybody's got their own spin on it, right? But I think these 4 things are important to me, and I think these 4 things can help our players through life and our program. It's the kind of people we want. We want 4 things that our pillars are character. We want men of character. That's important. You want guys that you can trust are going to make this really good decision. Is there going to be a guy that makes a mistake? Sure. We were all young at one time. But if they have character, you can trust those guys. We want guys that are smart football players, okay? I'm not going to sit here and tell you I was the smartest student when I was. My mom will attest to that when I was in school. But we want smart players who are smart players in life, on the field, off the field. I think that helps you be a better football team. Discipline. Discipline's important. Hard to win when you're an undisciplined team. I want us to always be in leading the league in penalties. I want us to always to make sure that we're ranked high, that we're fewest penalized team in the league. I want us to make sure that we're disciplined on the field and off the field. What does that mean? Go to class, right? Act the right way. Be respectful to people. And it's harder and harder with social media today. My kids, me included sometimes, you're looking at that phone, right? Look people in the eye, shake their hand. The basic things of being of being a good person. That's what we want to do, and that's what we want to promote. And then the last thing was tough. We want guys that are tough mentally and tough physically. And the mental side's probably more important because you're probably not recruiting them if they're not tough physically, to be honest. But character, smart, discipline, tough. That's what you'll hear. That's what our players will hear, and I'm excited to get that. And then your mantra. What is it every day that keeps you going? What is that? Well, our three things will be energy, attitude, and body language. That's so important. Energy. We want guys with great energy. We want coaches with great energy. Excited to get up every day and be a part of this program. Attitude. Coach me, coach attitude. How many of you have coached Little League or something in your career? I'm sure there's a lot. Guys are uncoachable. They don't want to listen, right? They don't want to listen to you. They don't want to help. They don't want to listen to you helping them. We want guys that are coachable, that have a great attitude. Team first attitude. That's what we're looking for. In body language. Nothing I can stand worse than bad body language. Quarterback throws incomplete, slumps down. We'll get him out. I don't want that. I want guys with great energy, attitude, body language, represent our program like we should. Again, I want to thank you for being here today. We're going to develop Troy men on and off the field. That's a mission of ours. That's a goal of mine. That's what we want to do. We want to be Sun Belt champions every year, obviously. We want to win every game we play. That's why we're doing it, right? And then we want to become the premier Group of 5 program in the country. That's our goal. That's our mission. Compete in the New Year's Day Bowl. Usually one gets to do that, right? We need to be that team. That needs to be our goal. That needs to be what drives us. And if we'll do all the other little things right, Dr. Hawkins mentioned the details. If you take care of the details, big things happen. We're excited about that. I want to really thank everyone for coming. This is an unbelievable turnout. I really appreciate that. We'll work every day to make you proud, continue to be proud of this great program. And I can't wait to meet and speak with every one of you, okay? Go Trojans.
At this time, we will take questions for Coach Lindsey. If you have a question, please raise your hand. After we finish with Coach, Mr. McLean will come back up and we will take questions for him. So if you have questions for Coach Lindsey, please raise your hand and we will come to you with a microphone.
Yes, sir. Go ahead. Hey, Mike. Yes, sir. Yes or no, we haven't. We're in process of doing that now. It's going to happen pretty quick, though. I'm pretty confident of that. I think we're in a good spot on most of our staff, but not ready to probably say that we've got it done yet. A lot of things got to fall in place. In this process, a lot of times there's a lot of moving parts. The other guys got stuff going, and you're always trying to find the right fit. That's the most important thing. I want the right fit for Troy, the right fit for our players, and a great combination. And we're going to do that. We're going to put together a great staff. I hope to have it done here as quickly as possible. Coach Pierce, no questions?
No, but a comment.
Go ahead, Coach.
You picked the right sport.
Coach Pierce had some unique motivating tactics when I was watching his practices. I saw a lot of bat helmets get destroyed. Yes, sir. Go ahead. No
yeah,
problem.
you mentioned recruiting as a
Yes,
big
sir.
thing for you. Talk about, just the recruiting plans, especially coming from the high school, in Alabama,
Yep.
Georgia. You know this area.
I think being a former high school coach, God, I can't tell you how many guys have reached out. Now, a lot of them want jobs, but still, they reached out and really have that relationship. I think that's a huge benefit for our program. Now, I think we'll always recruit Alabama first. That's what we want. We want guys that really have a vested interest here, and they're invested in our program from one way or another. I think that's extremely important, but you always got within a 4 to 5 hour radius. We want to make sure we do that. We got such a great product to sell. We just got to get them on campus. Once they get here, I think they fall in love with this place. And from what I'm understanding the last couple of years, that's gone really well. And so, our deal is we want to be aggressive. We want to make sure that we're fair and honest with each of these guys that we're recruiting and sell our vision for Troy.
Hey, Coach, congratulations.
Thank
by
you.
The way. You mentioned the facilities.
Yes, sir.
How does this place look compared to, like you said, you had it in your head what it used to look like. And where did you used to take kids, I guess, when they came in for recruiting visits?
Well, it was breathtaking, really. And Jeremy was with me, so I think he'll tell you, I was just like, wow, this is unbelievable. I can't believe this, So it's got the wow factor, which in recruiting, man, that's what it is these days, right? It's the wow factor. How do we get these guys interested? What can you do to get their initial? Because everybody's telling them the same thing. So what separates us? So it's going to be a huge piece. It has been in recruiting. The facilities are really second to none, and that shows our commitment. Shows our commitment to athletics, to football, with our leadership and so forth. And it's huge. But it's been how does it compare? I don't think it does. I really don't. You walk through our facility, I don't think you'll find anywhere in the country. We're second to none. It's it's set up very well. Yes, sir.
Coach here in the back. Your forte has always been on the offensive side of the ball, calling plays. Is that something you think you'll continue to do here at Troy, or is that a responsibility that might be delegated over time?
I think that's something that I'll definitely have a hand in for sure. No, it is. I'm gonna be heavily involved. I'm gonna run the offense. I'm gonna have some help though. I'm gonna have some help because being the head coach, you're in a different chair. You're the CEO of the program. Dr. Hawkins mentioned that earlier. So there's gonna be some responsibilities that I'm gonna have to deal with. I'm gonna hire good people that'll help me, that have been with me before or very familiar with how we operate. So yes, to answer your question, we'll be heavily involved, and I'm gonna run the offense. And the good thing for me is it's not really gonna be a change a whole lot. It's the same. Neil and I have the same background offensively, and I think our players are going to have a seamless transition as far as that goes.
Yesterday, Neil, it came up about his dancing in the video. Can you assure us that you're a better dancer than Neil?
I was embarrassed for Neil, to be honest with you. I'm 100%. I'm a better dancer than Neil. I won't believe I'd put that out there if I was him. But anyway. Well, not today. It's not the right setting. But, that was creative. And it's amazing what you'll do in recruiting to get guys to come to Troy.
All right, we'll take one more, Coach.
Okay.
Coach, you have a history of developing quarterbacks, just what you've done in the recent years. What have you seen just the few times you've watched some of the games out of the guys that are here, Caleb Barker, Sawyer Smith, and Jacob Free coming in next year?
Yeah, really, really pleased with what I've seen. Obviously, I don't know their personnel. I recruited Sawyer a little bit, Jacob a little bit too, and Caleb's from North Alabama, so I know a lot about him. What I've seen is what's been here at Troy. The quarterbacks that we've had come through this program way back when I was here with Corey Robinson. I had Corey Robinson when he was a freshman. Eligibility-wise. Now, he might have been a third-year freshman. I think it was a gray shirt, red shirt, and all that. But he was really good. And, in fact, obviously he's one of the best that's ever played here. And but I see the same thing. I see guys that are, well-coached, guys that are tough-minded, guys that fit our program, that are Troy guys, that really, really talented guys. And I'm excited to get to know them, work with them, and really see where we are. And obviously, quarterback play is, in my mind, is so much about your makeup and, who you are. It's not always the most talented guy. It's not. It's the guy that can lead the team, affect the other 11 or the 10 guys on the field, and affect the team. And I think that's the most important thing, is finding that right guy. And, I think we got a good room to figure out who that'll be.
Thanks, Coach.
Is that it? All right. Thank you so much.
All right, we'll open up the floor for questions for Mr. McClain.
Congratulations.
Thanks, Kim.
Chip has a great resume, but he's only been at, I don't think he's been anywhere more than 2 years.
Yeah.
Did that come up? Was that was that addressed?
Yeah, we talked about it, and it's, for me, it's a little bit different because I know Chip's career. I know where he's been. I know why he's taken certain steps in his career. But we had some discussion about that and about what that looked like. I will say this: I think Chip's path has given him an opportunity to gain some experience in different ways. He's been a high school coach. He's been a high school offensive coordinator in some really good programs and been successful. He's been a coordinator at the Group of 5 level, which for me was important because we start talking about resources, Group of 5 versus Power 5. I need somebody who can understand what we're doing and how we do it. So he did a great job at Southern Miss, and then I kind of knew the next steps for him, why they happened, and what it was that his decision-making process. So we talked about it, but that's a zero concern of mine, and we're excited he's here, and I know he's looking forward to being the head coach here at Troy for a long time. Yes, sir, Mike. Yeah. It was. That was right after I left, Mike. So I don't know if maybe he needed to get me out of the way. I don't know. And we talked about quarterback play and developing quarterbacks. Nick Mullins is an interesting case study because I don't know if we've talked about this, but Chip coached him in high school and then ended up back at Southern Miss and coached him there in college, obviously. And Nick's a guy that developed over time. So we talk about developing quarterbacks. I think Nick's success, and he would say this, is really in much part to Chip's ability to get the most out of the quarterback, and he's got a bright future in front of him. He's such a smart young man, and as Chip said, he might not be the most talented guy on some of the teams he's played on, but he is so smart and understands the game, and he's a great young man. But that's an example, I think, of what Chip's kind of pedigree and background is, and what he can do as an offensive football coach. Anybody else? All right. Thank you, guys. Hey, we've got some reception. I'm going to close this out here. We've got some food in the back. Chip's going to be here for a little while and hang out and shake as many hands as he can before we have to drag him away to the next thing today. But I'm so thankful for you guys being here. I appreciate the support. And hang around definitely and get a chance to say hello and wish Coach success. Thank you, guys. Go Troy.
You know him. He is an outstanding gentleman of a football coach. And, of course, Chip Lindsey is the new head football coach at Troy University. And, of course, by watching this film, I think you'll learn a lot about him and the kind of person he is. I know most all of you, are very pleased with the outcome of the research for the next football coach. What I think personally that it brings more than anything, he brings to the table a guy that's already experienced. He was at Auburn the last 2 years as offense coordinator at Auburn, and of course, just think of the competition he went up against. He did a great job there. And then, of course, Les Miles, the new head coach at Kansas, could have gone out and got most any offensive coordinator in the country. And he picked Nick, our coach, and of course we're excited about that he is coming to Troy. He's excited about coming to Troy, and we appreciate him very much already for the man that he is. Not only a great family man, but is a man that cares about his players. He puts his players first, and we appreciate him so much. So Chip Lindsey is the new football coach at Troy. I'm going to try to catch a couple of guys as they walk by and find out how they feel about the hire. And I don't think you're going to find a person that was here today that was not impressed with Chip Lindsey and his goals and his things that mean a lot to him. I think mean a lot to a lot of the people that are here today, people that are strong Troy people that I think are looking forward to and the next football season. Troy returns several players, and I feel like Chip Lindsey is the type guy that will hit the ground running. He runs very similar to the same offense that Troy runs, which will make it even easier. Of course, this spring, we didn't ask him when the spring will start, but we'll find out in a few moments because that's important. And then, of course, recruiting takes place, and we're looking forward to that. Brent Jones, the Associate Athletic Director at Troy, and Coach Jones, I know you are part of the recruiting of this young man. I call him a young man. He's 44 years old, but I've got a son that's that age.
Yes.
But again, Chip Lindsey, I think is a good pick.
Well, you can just see behind us the fans, the amazing turnout. I think everybody's really, really excited. This job is a very highly coveted job. Chip brings very, very impressive records. He knows Troy. He's been at Troy. He's from Alabama. He's recruited here. He talked about it yesterday in the team meeting that he's recruited. He knows a lot of the players already. And so, him and Neil are good friends too. And he knows this program. They visit in the offseason. So the hope is, and, the same offense type of deal, I think Chip's going to come in here and really do a wonderful job.
Perfect example of hitting the ground running.
Absolutely, and we wanted someone that was familiar with Troy. This is a very, very special place. He talked about it. He knew a lot of people that were already here from his previous time. Coach Blakeney gave him the opportunity.
And he was Blakeney was one of his role models.
Absolutely, and you talk about who replaced Neil when he left in 2009. It was Chip Lindsey. Who's replacing Neil in 2018, now 2019? It's Chip Lindsey. So I think the future's bright here.
Of course, great year, and of course Neil Brown did a wonderful job here, but I look at Chip Lindsey very much like I look at Neil Brown, very similar in their philosophies and the kind of people they are.
Well, they've been around the same system. They run almost the same offense. You talk about Troy in 2006 through 2009 with Neil, 2010 with Chip as well being on the staff. They have the same belief system. Our players are going to play hard for them. I talked to Nick Mullins yesterday and today, and what he said was Nick Mullins, who's starting as an NFL quarterback, who was not drafted. He's from Spain Park, who he coached. He talked about that he's a player's coach. Players and staff are going to want to play for him. And, oh, by the way, he expects a lot of touchdowns and a lot of points and a lot of fun.
When I mentioned just a while ago 6,400 yards total offense for his offense, hey, you look around and see very few teams have ever done that in any year. And, of course, he did it in 2015 at Southern Miss.
And it was in a group of five. That's almost unprecedented to have a top five offense in the nation in a group of five. And you look at that. He helped recruit them. He was calling the plays. It's a special deal. We're really excited about having Chip back.
Organization is very important. And, of course, I haven't seen this guy coach on the field, but one of the main traits for Neil Brown was organization. But I think this guy comes from the same school, don't you think?
He does. They've both been trained by Coach Larry Blakeney, one of the greatest, if not the greatest, head coach here. And you should be able to see that. So, again, it's Chip Lindsey, but I also think he's a chip off the old block from Larry as well as Neil, and we're excited about him.
Well, listen, we sure do appreciate it, my friend.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it.
Thank you for coming by. Of course, we're going to try to catch a few other guys before they leave. Come on in here. And, of course, we're going to get some. Come in here. Hey, let me talk to you. Let me interview you a second. Have you got somebody? Come in here. Ladies and gentlemen, from the press end of it, tell us about this new hire.
Well, you got to like it. I mean, in this era of offense, Chip Lindsey is a very offensive-minded coach. Like Jeremy said, he checks a lot of boxes. He has fun, first of all, and he's got that in common with Neil Brown. I don't think that the the atmosphere around here will be like, oh, we got to go to work. People are going to want to come here,
Exactly right.
and they're going to want to go to
Well,
work.
you've seen a lot of Troy coaches. You've been around here a long time. He's a perfect example of hitting the ground running.
There's no doubt about that. On the other hand, very few coaches have come in with as many expectations, as Chip Lindsey faces right away.
Of course, the most important thing is to come out with your staff, a staff that can coach, but a staff that can recruit.
Absolutely.
That's the key.
It starts with talent, but then you have to develop that talent.
Yeah.
Good
Thank
to
you
see
so
Mike.
much, my friend.
All right. See you.
We'll be right back. I knew I'd be able to catch one of the guys in the red jackets. Stuart, good to see you, my friend.
Yep, good to see you, Mike.
And,
Always a
of
pleasure.
course, my good friend, tell us about what you think.
Well, I'm proud. I'm very impressed by our new coach. I'm impressed by Jeremy McClain, our athletic director. We had total confidence that he would go out through his relationships and talents and find us the best coach possible for Troy, and I think he's done just that.
Well, I know that, of course, you go way back with the Troy program, but you haven't been back very long. This is a place that's hard to believe what's been able to happen.
Mike, I was born in Troy, finished college here, but with Jack Hawkins' leadership, it's been remarkable. The campus, beautiful. The quality of students we have is just fantastic. Troy has such a rich history, but I truly believe our best years are to come.
No question about it. For local people, tell them who your family was.
Well, I'm Gibson Vance. My father was Rex Vance. My mother was Susan.
And everybody knew Rex Vance.
Everybody knew my dad. Everybody's from Troy. My grandfather was a chiropractor.
And your mama was Susan Gibson.
Susan Gibson. So I'm just proud to be on the board of trustees.
Exactly. It's a lot of fun, isn't it?
We have a blast.
In fact, I always said all you got to do is just come and be a part of it, and I promise you your life will be enhanced.
Troy is a special place, and if we can get kids to visit our campus, they usually come to
we
Troy.
got them, don't we?
That's right.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mike. Take care, sir.
Gibson Vance, one of the board members, and that's a sort of a idea from the board. We'll be right back. Excuse me. Ladies and gentlemen, of course, Chip Lindsey is the new head football coach at Troy, but let me tell you, his chief responsibility is raising 4 beautiful children, and I'm going to let you hold it to your mouth and tell them who you are and how old you are.
Okay, I'm Claire, and I'm 14. I'm Caroline, and I'm 12. My name's Cooper, and I'm 12 as well. I'm Connor, and I'm 11.
Okay, and tell us about y'all now. What grade will you be in?
5th.
First grade?
5th.
5th, I'm sorry. How about you?
7th.
How about you?
I'm a freshman.
How about you?
7th.
Now, y'all thought you were going to move into Kansas, and you probably had made a lot of friends when you were at Auburn, is that right?
Yes.
And you said, well, I'm going to miss them, I'm going to miss them. Then you get to Kansas, and Daddy says, we're moving again. Did it excite you when he said that y'all going to move to Troy, Alabama?
Yes, I think we were all really excited about it. We thought, we had an idea that it could come open a little bit ago, so we were all really excited, and then it's really good to be back close to our grandparents and stuff.
Yeah.
And
so what grade will you be in?
I'll be in 7th.
7th, and what grade will you be in?
I'm a freshman.
Freshman in 9th grader?
Yes, sir.
Okay, what grade?
7th.
All right, let me ask this. Do you play ball yourself? Do y'all play baseball or football?
I play football and basketball.
What?
Football and basketball.
Do y'all play baseball? Football and basketball. And what do you play?
I play basketball and golf.
What grade? How old are you?
12.
Well, so you'll play in the Dixie Youth League program here. You play baseball. You're here in Troy now. How about you? Are you an athlete?
I'm a cheerleader.
A cheerleader? That's great. How about you?
I'm a cheerleader as well.
That's great. That's great. And how about you? You're a basketball player?
I'm a football player.
And can you beat your daddy one-on-one?
Yeah.
Can you? Well, let me tell you, are you glad to be in Troy, Alabama?
Yes, sir.
That's right. And ladies and gentlemen, these are the most important people in the life of your dad, Chip Lindsey. And tell us about your daddy.
My dad.
Tell us some different things about your daddy that nobody hears. Something they like to do, like to eat, or whatever.
He loves to play golf. In his.
Well, he'll love this. We got a nice golf course here.
We saw it. Yes, he plays golf in his free time a lot. and he loves Mexican food and Pizza Hut.
Mexican food, we got some good Mexican. We got 2 real good Mexican restaurants.
He eats Pizza Hut after every game.
Pizza Hut after every game?
We'll bring home pizza and then we'll all eat it.
Yeah, all right. And we got several good pizza places. How about him? Tell me some things about your daddy.
Well, he likes playing golf with me, like they said, and
Don't talk so I can hear you.
he likes playing golf.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Like what they said with me, and yeah, he's not that good at dancing.
Not that good at what?
Dancing.
Oh,
He thinks he's good, but he's not good.
Yeah.
all right. Tell us some things about your daddy.
He sometimes will like to goof around with us and be funny.
Yeah. Did he let winning and losing hurt him, or does he get tight before a game, or how does he act?
He acts like chill, and he'll be like,
If he's got stress, he won't let you know it, will he?
No, he likes, like, when he gets stressed out, he doesn't like to tell us, so he kind of like separates it from us. But if we lose, he's like upset, but he's just like, whatever, like, we'll get him next time, and he just kind of brushes it off.
like if he doesn't like something, he'll just like not show it off on us and not bring it off on us. He'll just like hide it and
Stays positive.
yeah, he stays positive about it.
Well, hand me this right here. Now, will you get a new basketball goal and you gonna get a fiberglass basketball goal at your new house?
I don't really know.
Huh?
Maybe, I don't know.
Exactly. Okay. Well, let me tell you this. Y'all are in a town where they have wonderful cheerleading. They got wonderful baseball and softball, and for girls, y'all play any sports at all? Chancellor.
I used to be a gymnast, but I got hurt, so I had to retire. But
Exactly. Hey, Chancellor, come here and meet these young people right here. I know these. Oh, you know them, don't you? Well, Chancellor, tell us about the process and how proud you are in this situation. It's the best example I can think of any time of hitting the ground running.
Well, you know, I really appreciate Jeremy McClain and the homework that he did. And life is about relationships. I mean, you look at this beautiful family, and it's about relationships. These young people look like they could be on television any day. In fact, I told both their parents that they should have about 45 children, because if they can produce children this beautiful, they need to continue to produce, right? But life is about relationships, and I think the key to Chip Grindley that I've been able to determine, one is he's a man of integrity, but he is also a man that understands the importance of relationships beginning with his family, relationships with his colleagues. He no doubt is one that I think our players will love, and I think he'll love them in return. So we're delighted that Chip is here. We're delighted that his beautiful family is here. And we look forward to a continued success. We have our best years lie ahead. Exactly. And I think it's going to take leadership, but we're convinced that he's the right one for the job at this time.
Well, we're excited. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you so much, the Chancellor of the Troy University System. And, hey, that's something different in Troy that you won't find anybody else. He's a great one.
Yeah.
And he truly loves what he does, and loves the students, and loves people like you. And, of course, it's a lot of fun. Ladies and gentlemen, these are the young people that mean more to Chip Lindsey than anybody else. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Did he always want to be there for you when you're doing something?
Yes, sir.
even when he's like recruiting, he still comes home and like makes time with us.
I'll try and make it.
The good thing about now than ever before, he's the boss.
I know.
He can be where he wants to be. You know?
That's so true.
And you come right in here. We're so proud that we got to meet y'all today. Let me get y'all up on a couple of big cheers. When I say we are
Troy.
We are
Troy.
Okay, can you get used to that? Not Auburn, but Troy. We are
Troy.
Give me a T.
T.
Give me an R.
R.
Give me an O.
O.
Give me a Y.
Y.
What you got?
Troy.
What?
Troy.
Tell them. Okay, and of course, ladies and gentlemen, they're getting ready to be Trojans, and I promise you, you're going to find that it is very contagious. It won't take long. Jeremy, come right in. Okay. We're going to catch him in a minute, but, I know this is a change for y'all. You'll meet new friends, and you'll live in a different place than you lived before. But are you excited?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You going to help them pick out a house?
Yes.
How about you? What are you going to do? Baseball seems to be starting soon.
Yes, sir.
Did you say you play baseball?
Oh, basketball.
Basketball, okay. So no baseball players in the bunch.
No.
They used to play.
And of course, one-on-one, can y'all, what's the difference in your ages?
1 year.
They're 15
All right,
months
okay.
apart.
And the two of y'all can beat the two of them in basketball, is that right?
Always.
No.
Well, I tell you what, I'm so glad y'all came by. And again, we are
Troy.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, you have just met the Lindsay kids, and they're gonna make history here in Troy, Alabama. So glad y'all came by.
Thank you.
See you.
You too.
And, good luck to all y'all here.
Thank you.
And I tell you what, we're excited about your daddy being our head football coach.
We're so excited to be here.
Good to see y'all.
You too.
All right. Back to our show, ladies and gentlemen. The AD just come back, and of course Jeremy McClain. I think a great hire.
Well, me too. And we're excited about Chip being our guy.
Not saying you didn't talk to a lot of good people.
We did. We absolutely had a really thorough search process and talked to a lot of good coaches. And there were a lot of really, really good coaches who were interested in leading this program.
People would not believe really some of the names that probably were at least mentioned or showed some interest in this job.
No doubt about it. And I think for us, again, as I talked about, the profile for this job was really important. We needed somebody who understood who we are as an institution, as a community, and could plug in and get it done as a head coach here.
Yeah. Well, everybody says Troy's a stepping stone. Well, I don't mind being a stepping stone if they're successful. More power to them. Nobody could blame Neil Brown for doing what he did.
No, Neil did a fantastic job here, and he had a great opportunity for he and his family. And I'm the biggest Neil Brown fan there is, and we're going to stay in touch with him. And we wish him the best, man. But look, if they're going to call us a stepping stone, I don't care as long as we're winning games, Mike. And so I think that's the key to it. And I'd much rather be on this side of it than trying to figure out how to win football games.
No question about it. And Troy's has a lot of people looking at it right now and looking at our program and what's been done. And you have a lot to do with it. You've done a great job.
Appreciate it. Thank you very much. And I'm thrilled. I'm blessed to be here and get up every day. Thankful to be here at Troy.
Well, of course, they met his kids, and you can just tell by the way the kids act that he's something special as a father.
Yeah, no doubt.
But something that I mentioned earlier, 6,400 yards at Southern Miss in one season, which is phenomenal. His quarterback is the head quarterback right now at San Francisco, Mullins.
Yeah.
I think we played against him, didn't he?
We did. Yeah, Nick's real special, and Nick would tell you a big part of that, his progression as a player, is because of Chip.
Yeah.
And his ability to kind of get the most out of guys. Yeah. And Nick's turned into he's a great young man. He's really bright. And Chip just really kind of put him on the path for success.
By being at Auburn the last 2 years, and that's just right up the street, he recruited the same people. He knows where the coaches are. He knows the Georgia people, the Florida people, the Alabama people. So really, he hits the ground running.
Yeah, and he's been a high school head coach in Georgia and Alabama, and so he has.
There was a huge.
I tell you this, I got a call from somebody in the high school ranks and said, hey, I'm speaking for about 20 high school coaches in the state of Alabama, but if Chip Lindsay is your guy, he's going to hit it out of the park with the high school coaches in Alabama, and so I think that tells you right there how good he's going to be.
And that means a lot, no question about it. And I tell you what, you've done such a great job in such a short time, and I know it's not easy to replace a guy like Neil Brown, but thank goodness it did our program a special way for so many people to want the job.
Yeah, no doubt about it, and I'm thankful to be in that position. Like I said, I think that's it's a blessing, and what our challenge now is to continue to build on that.
Yeah. Thank you so much for letting us come.
Appreciate y'all.
Thank you. Big crowd here today of not only administration people, staff people, and then, of course, a lot of fans, a lot of people that care a lot about Troy. I'm going to catch the head coach if I have to stay here till 3 o'clock. Ladies and gentlemen, the new head football coach at Troy University. And, Coach, welcome to Troy.
Thank you. I appreciate it. It's good to be back. Good to be back home.
Of course, Chip Lindsey was here before, and I like that you said that. I was born and raised here and live on the hill over there, and the program means an awful lot to me and a lot of people here. But for you to say that you're coming back home, that 1 year evidently was a good year for you.
Well, I think anytime you spend any time here, you feel like it's home. And it's because of the people. These people here are amazing, and obviously the great tradition of this program, and just excited to get back here and be a part of it and really, really plant some roots and continue on what's going on here.
When you were here in 2010, we had some pretty good teams. Your quarterback was Robinson.
Corey Robinson.
Who turned out to be a pretty good one. I think 13,000 yards. A record.
Yes, he was unbelievable. I wish I could take credit to make him, but I tell you what, he was a really good player here. He and I work really well together. Still stay in touch, and just a great Troy Trojan.
Now your hometown is Huntsville, isn't it, Madison?
Yes, sir. High school, Madison, Bob Jones High School.
All right, now I'm gonna throw out a name to you. Frank Sadler was my high school coach.
Wow, Frank Sadler. You know what? He was the first guy I worked for in high school football. Yeah. I was his student assistant, and at Bob Jones while I was finishing my degree. And great guy.
Well, I tell you, it's a little hard times right now. He's in a nursing home in Chattanooga. But I knew that he meant a lot to you, didn't he?
He did. He was a great influence. I mean, he taught you how to act and be a professional, and really enjoyed my time. I really did enjoy my time with him.
Of course, the places you've been very well. I mentioned that 2015 team, over 6,400 yards in total offense. I don't know anybody in the country that's ever done that. That had to be a Southern Miss record, didn't it?
It's a special year. It really was. The players there did a great job. We had a 4,000-yard passer, 2 1,000-yard rushers, and a 1,000-yard receiver, and really created some balance, and had an explosive offense. That's what we want to do here.
Well, I tell you, your family is just outstanding, and I was able to interview them. I want you to you'll be able to watch this weekend. We'll be able to show it this weekend on Troy Cable, and we're excited. And of course, we talk a lot about sports, and I have a morning show called Today in L.A. comes on at 7, and goes off at 8:30 in the morning on Facebook. We're all across the country.
Great.
And we've had a lot of response. But we've said talking back for who Troy going to hire. People would call in and say who Troy's going to hire. And my feeling was you from the very beginning, because of a lot of it, because you hit the ground running. I mean, you already know the coaches. You were at Auburn and considered by Malzahn at Auburn as one of the very top offensive coordinators in the country when they hired you. And I've just heard that so many times that you're one of the top offensive minds in the country, not in the state of Alabama, in the country. Is that quite a compliment?
Well, it is. I mean, it's a testament to the players you have. Obviously, you're only as good as your players. But, one thing I think that is special is get a chance to come here. We've had some great football teams here, some great offenses here, and, hopefully we'll continue to do the same things.
I know you haven't worked your staff out yet, and I know that's something that's going to take a little time, and because you want to make a good decision.
I do. I want to get it right. And the thing is a lot of these guys that are here, they've created a great culture, a great foundation, and they're going to have some opportunities in some other places. But I think when it all shakes out, we'll have the right mix.
Of course, recruiters are harder to find than football coaches, great recruiters.
Sure.
And, of course, I know you're going to be doing that. I hear you're a very good recruiter. And but right now, I've heard rumors, probably not, but a former coach that used to coach here is rumored to be coming on your staff. I hope that's the case.
Well, we'll see how it all shakes out for sure. But, at the end of the day, I want to get the right fit, right people for Troy.
I understand. And, Coach, again, when will you start spring?
I hadn't set the date yet. It probably maybe a little later than they've done, but that's something that I've got to settle on here in a few days.
Exactly. Well, you think about it, the later practice is, the more they can comprehend when the season starts.
Yeah, and the good thing is Neil and I are very similar offensively. I'm hoping to have a lot of continuity on this staff, and I think it'll make for a smooth transition.
Yeah. Well, again, that word hit the ground running. You know a lot of the players, a lot of the coaches, very important. I mean, you can go to Central Iowa, Phoenix City, and sit down with Jamie DeBose. I mean, you can go to, what I'm saying, there are good programs everywhere that already know you, and you ain't got to introduce yourself.
No, I think that's a huge plus for us. And, the thing is, we got great coaches in this state, great high school coaches, and a lot of guys that could be doing exactly what I'm doing. They just need the opportunity, and and we're looking forward to kind of getting back with those relationships.
Is it good to say this is your life, Chip Lindsey?
Yes, sir. This is it. I appreciate it.
Is this a dream?
This is a dream come true.
See, you're like me about Larry Blakeney. He had that way about him, didn't he?
He really did. He was phenomenal.
People guy.
Yeah, he is. He's a great person.
And building relationships.
Yes, sir.
Thank you so much, and I hope you'll come on our show soon.
I will. Thank you.
We'll be running this quite a bit this weekend.
All right.
People get to know Chip Lindsey as the head football coach. Coach, you ready to win right away?
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Let's go.
Go
Good
Trojans.
luck to you.
Thank you. All right.
Thank you. Chip Lindsey, the head football coach. Thank you for your time, Coach. Chip Lindsey gave us his time today, and we do appreciate it very much. Hope you've enjoyed today's show, and we're going to be showing this show at numerous times throughout the year, all the way up till the fall practice, that where you have met the head football coach at Troy University, Chip Lindsey. Again, I'm Mike Amos, and we appreciate, along with Scott Westfall, bringing you from the Stadium Club. Scott, I don't know if you can pick it up or not, but pick up this beautiful layout here, this picture of Welcome Chip Lindsey. And, Coach, I don't know if Chip Lindsey's ever had a billboard like that before, but I know he's got to be proud. And, ladies and gentlemen, that's the man that's going to run Troy's program, hopefully for years to come. One of the outstanding offensive minds in the country, Chip Lindsey, is now the new head football coach at Troy University. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready for the kickoff. Remember, we are